It is way too hot outside. What is up, everyone? This is Ellibod here. Welcome to the Ellibod Sports Network, and it's time for me to do my championship prediction reaction. Again, same scoring system. If I get it spot on, 5 points. 1 place out, 3 points. 2 places out, 1 point. Anything further, it is an incorrect prediction. Let's see if I can do better with this prediction video than I did with my Premier League prediction video. And once again, I'm going to compare myself to the Irish guy. So as you can see, the Irish guy ended up getting only 26 points this time. But of course, the championship is a lot harder to predict. So, my target is 24. And the Irish guy only got 26, so let's see if I can beat that at least. Let's not waste any more time. So we start off straight away with not a very good one. I went with Luton to finish dead last. I thought that the feel-good factor from staying up last season was going to wear off and Luton was going to plummet. No, they've actually done better this season than they did last. 12th place for Luton Town. Solid mid-table in the championship. Yeah, 12 places better than I predicted. Not a good start for me. But in the end, Luton's football was actually pretty good this season. Can't really fault them. So already off the bat, not very good. But straight away, 23rd, Rotherham. 2 teams in, and I have a correct prediction. 5 points on the board already. This is brilliant. But this was no surprise. Rotherham are almost a nothing club. To the point in which, again, I had to remind myself they existed. They are boring. They were boring to watch, and they're going back down to League One. So I got that one spot on for Rotherham United. 22nd, I thought that the 12-point deduction was going to handicap Sheffield Wednesday. And even after they got that point deduction reduced, they did even worse than I predicted. 2 places worse, which is still within the caveat, so 1 point on the board. But, no, the mishandling of money at Sheffield Wednesday is obviously going to cripple the team now for years. I don't actually think that Sheffield Wednesday are going to even recover in League One, truth be told. The really only option that Sheffield Wednesday have is to sell. They need to have an owner that can actually handle the debt that the club is in. But yeah, they did worse than I predicted. They came dead last. It's not a bright future for Sheffield Wednesday, but it is a bright future for the next team. I predicted that Barnsley would be in a relegation scrap once again. Nope. They did 16 places better than I predicted them. For God's sake. Playoff football for Barnsley, going from nearly relegated to the playoffs. That, there's no real words for it. That is astounding. And it will be worth seeing whether or not they keep up this momentum for next season. Was this just a one-off fluke? But Barnsley shocked I think a lot of predictors got this one wrong. I don't think anyone was predicting Barnsley would be anywhere near the top. But no, the football they played was a lot stronger. They were more defensively sound. Can't really fault them. So good work for Barnsley. The next team in my prediction I put for 20th. And, nope, 22nd for Wycombe Wanderers. Within my 2-place caveat though, so another point on the board. I'm not doing too badly so far. 7 points off of the first 5. Okay, let's keep this going. But, nah, again, it wasn't really a surprise that Wycombe were in the bottom. They came up from League One, and they struggled all season. It's going to end up being, but either Wycombe or Rotherham are going to end up as a yo-yo club between the Championship and League One. And I've already established it in my Premier League prediction video. I hate yo-yo clubs. And I'm going to establish it later on in this video as well. But I do not like yo-yo clubs. And I pray Wycombe don't become that. So 19th, I went with Preston North End. And they did better than I predicted. They came in 13th. Yep, 13th. I remember making the remark that Preston North End are a team but tend to think they're going to do poorly and then do brilliantly. And when they think they're going to do brilliantly, they do poorly. So I'm not shocked massively at Preston North End doing as well as they did. They managed to secure a reasonably good mid-table finish. It's just going to be a matter of improving upon this next season. I do wish Preston would play a bit more interesting football. You might say, but why would you expect that? It's Championship. They're not going to be as interesting as the Premiership. And that's not necessarily true, though, because there are some of the teams in here that played very interesting football throughout this season, and they've done well. And there's one club in here that played very interesting football, and they were shite. I will get to them in a moment. So 18th is next. Blackburn Rovers. And Blackburn, they did better than I was expecting. 3 places better. But again, the stranglehold of your owners is going to keep a club that should be in the Premier League. For God's sake, Blackburn Rovers have won the Premier League before. You're being choked out by the owners of your club, and I'm just wondering, how long is it going to be until they choke you out for good? The football that Blackburn played, from what of it I watched, was alright. Nothing spectacular. So, but you can't just settle on alright. You need to start playing better football. You need to start playing faster football. And I know Blackburn are perfectly capable of that. But it's just the stranglehold of the owners that is making it impossible for the managers or the players, whether they be senior or youth, to really get on one system of football and sticking with it. And eventually that's just going to cripple the team entirely. So next up, 17th, so close. I went with Birmingham City. I predicted them for 17th. They ended up in 18th. 1 place out, so 3 points on the board. That's pretty good. I was on 7 points. I'm now on 10 already. I'm almost halfway there. So, Birmingham. How long until your city gets renamed to Aston? Because, let's just face it, they own the city. Your rivals own the city of Birmingham. And you're just standing there letting them do it. You need to start playing some more serious football. You need to get back up there and get ready to challenge your rivals. Because right now, they're walking all over you. You have that little patch of ground that you call your home stadium. Aston Villa have the rest of Birmingham. They might as well rename the city Aston. And the fact you did one place worse than I predicted only further proves that point. 16th. Come on! Coventry City. I got them spot on. They came up last season and I thought that they were going to be the one League One team that were going to thrive and strive to stay up, and they have done so, and they came exactly where I predicted. 5 points on the board. This is going really well. This is going really well. So not really much else to add on Coventry. If they can stay in the Championship, then good on them. 15th. Reading. Nope, they didn't come 15th. They came 7th. Just outside of the playoff places. Reading stormed at the beginning of the season, and then it just fizzled out. And my big question is, why did that happen? What caused your momentum to dry out so quickly? And is this going to continue into next season? You had the Championship in the palm of your hand, and like Robert Green at the World Cup, you let it slip through. That's the oldest reference I think I could have possibly made. So you're going to need to improve on this, Reading, as my voice cracks. Let's just move on to the next team. And oh boy. A former Premier League team. I don't even have words. Huddersfield. I predicted you for 14th and you came 20th. I haven't really got words to say on that. That's just terrible form. And you're going to need to pick up something big, or it's going to continue that way. And from the looks of things, you're not picking up anything. So it's probably going to continue that way. At this stage, I am probably going to predict you for relegation next season. It's in your hands. You got to do something. 13th. Just outside the caveat, Middlesbrough. But this time it's a club that did better than I predicted. I would like to see Middlesbrough back in the Premier League. I always remember watching them sort of in the early to mid O's, and around that sort of time, but really throughout the O's, I would say. And they were always the team that you would look for to pick up a shock. They were always the team that you'd sleep on, but then suddenly, boom, they hit you. And I want to see Middlesbrough come back with that. I think Middlesbrough are going in the right direction. It's just going to be next season finding that key player that's going to give them that oomph. And the sooner they find it, the better. So, few teams now gone by. I haven't scored anything else. But that changes with Stoke City, who I predicted for 12th, that they came 14th. So 2 places out, 1 point on the board. Stoke City, usually pretty solid mid-table, so nothing really shocked me. I mean, if you give or take 14th to 10th, that's normally where Stoke City end up. They've ended up on the low end of that caveat, so not really much else to add. An alright season, nothing spectacular. So we move up to 11th, and a club that did better than I was thinking they were. I thought that with the release of Eddie Howe and everything going on at Bournemouth, they were going to disintegrate. Not massive, but they were going to fall massively. And no, they got themselves into the playoff places. So clearly there is still a strong foundation at Bournemouth. They're trying everything they can to get back into the Premier League. And you know, I have to admire, for such a small club, they're actually doing pretty well. Again, they did 5 places better than I predicted, so can't really fault them. The only thing that concerns me is was this just pot luck? Or are you onto something? I guess only next season will tell. So now for my top 10, and Bristol City, 10th place, and nope, they finished in 19th. 9 places below where I predicted them. Some of the most brain-dead decision-making throughout the season for a club that's normally quite consistent. Normally, Bristol City is normally... How many times am I saying normally in the same sentence? But Bristol City is normally a very level-headed football team. And instead, this time round, they just went full-on batshit insane. But if you want to talk about batshit insane, then you look at Wayne Rooney's Derby County. Remember when I said that about a club doing something different and it being a lot worse? This is that club. I predicted for 9th. You were in the relegation scrap. Derby County. What the fuck were you lot doing this season? Wayne Rooney is not capable of managing a club of that level. I wouldn't even trust Wayne Rooney. I wouldn't even trust Wayne Rooney to manage pitch and town. I wouldn't trust Wayne Rooney to manage Maidenhead. He has not got the thinking level of what a manager is needed. It's one of those situations where being a good footballer doesn't always mean you'll be a good manager. Sometimes professionals in a sport, what comes so naturally to them, it's difficult for them to pass that knowledge on. And this was a classic example. Wayne Rooney nearly ruined Derby County. I don't know, I must admit I haven't looked this up. I don't know if Wayne Rooney's been sacked or not. If he has, good. If he hasn't, he should be. Kind of showcasing the lack of knowledge I have going into this video, but I can certainly remember results. And for Derby County this season, they were awful. And again, if it weren't for Sheffield Wednesday, you would have been relegated. If it weren't for Sheffield Wednesday's mismanagement of money, you would have gone down. You do need a new manager. So, 8th place. 8th place, Swansea City. And no, they came in 4th. Very good season for Swansea. Again, they made all the right moves. They've got some of the best players in the Championship. So it's just going to be a matter of finding the right tactics and finding the best use for players. And if you can do that, then Swansea will come back up to the Prem. Next, I went with Cardiff City for 7th, and they came in 8th. So 1 place out, 3 points on the board. Not doing too badly this one. I'm doing better, I think, on average with my Championship predictions than I did my Premier League predictions. So that's a good sign. But Cardiff City, again, 8th place. Not really much else to add, really. I guess really the same sort of remarks I made with Swansea. How ironic, the two Welsh teams, I have this exact same post-season remarks for them. So now we get into the top 6. Who I had in my playoff positions, and oh boy. Though it wasn't as bad as it was halfway through the season. 6th place, I went with Millwall, believing that last season's momentum would have carried over. Nope, Millwall were extremely inconsistent and ended up in 11th. And if I remember correctly, I think this is one of the ones with the Irish guy predicted spot on that Millwall are an inconsistent team at the moment. And yeah, he got that spot on if I remember correctly. I thought Millwall would have carried through the momentum, and they haven't. Instead, it has started to fizzle out, and what I'm fearing now is, again, like a lot of the other teams I predicted to do well, and they haven't done as well as I predicted them, is this now just going to slip for you lot, Millwall? Are you going to end up in League One? Some of that fire. And I've met a couple of Millwall fans. They are determined for Millwall to succeed. Like any other football team, any other football team's fans is determined to see their team succeed, but Millwall fans I've met seem to be more passionate about seeing Millwall succeed than any other fans I've met. You need to get playoff next season if you're going to see that level of success. Not to mention, cup competition, again, you're going to need to thrive there as well. So, you need to try and get yourself a good cup run. And that could be the catalyst to see Millwall succeed. But yeah, Millwall didn't do as well as I predicted. Another team that didn't do as well as I predicted. I can't believe I predicted this team for 5th. I don't know what I was thinking putting QPR 5th. Although they came 9th, so it's not the worst prediction on this list. That's already happened with Barnsley. But I will get to another one in just a moment. Another one of my bad predictions. But, yeah, QPR did pick it up a bit towards the end. But by then it was too little too late. But it could lead to something next season. Maybe QPR are starting to make that way back up. Or it could just be a flash in the pan and they just plummet. But one team that's not plummeting is Norwich. I thought they would be in the playoffs, and nope. They won. They won the Championship. I think Daniel Farke has done really well at Norwich City. He has turned this club into something special. But please stay up next season. Stay up in the Prem. Don't become a yo-yo club. Because they won the Championship, got relegated, and now they've won the Championship again. Don't get relegated again. I hate yo-yo clubs with an absolute passion. But yeah, great season for Norwich City. That's outside of my caveat, so I don't get anything for it. But the people of Norwich are going to be happy they're back in the Prem. Unlike these lot. What is going on, Nottingham Forest? I thought you would have stormed into the playoff places, and instead your form was on par with relegation form. I mean, you came 17th if I remember, yep, 17th. But some of your early form was on par with relegation. I generally thought you were going to go down to League One. But you did pick up, but nope, you're not going to be coming up to the Premier League anytime soon. In fact, I actually think that Nottingham Forest will go down to League One before they come up to the Premier League. I reckon Nottingham Forest will fall before they climb back up again. However, in my top two, have a look at this. Watford in second. Yes, indeed. Watford are a club that I do have a lot of respect for, even though their owners are sackaholics. And they are just... It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the Premier League. How long are they going to go without sacking their manager? I look forward to that. And finally, they got within my caveat. I did say if they didn't get promoted this season, they would never get promoted. But they have got promoted via the playoffs. It is Brentford. The Bees are going to be in the Prem. 1 year too late to get the Irish guy tattooed with Pontus Janssen. But still, you did it this season. Brentford will be up in the Premier League. And it does also prevent a rather stale situation in which the four teams? We haven't had 4 teams relegated in the Premier League now for at least 12 seasons. Possibly even more than that. But I think actually having 4 teams relegated might create some urgency. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. The 3 teams that were relegated from the Prem could have been the 3 that went straight back up. That didn't happen. And I'm happy to see Brentford in the Premier League. And no, I can't fault them on anything, really. I think they had a great season. Right, so how did I end up? 25 points. I beat my target by 1 point. And I lost to the Irish guy by 1 point. So close this time. So I've done better with my championship prediction, which I didn't think at the beginning of the season I was going to say. Normally, the Premier League is easier to predict. But I've done pretty well with the Championship this season. Next season, I've got to score big. I have got to score big with my Championship and Premiership predictions.